Nigeria is one of the big contributors to the AU, and you want to see the benefits.
President Buhari urges African leaders to work meticulously and ensure relevance in intergovernmental processes. Completion of second Niger bridge to boost the nation's economy.
We are very happy that President Muhammadu Buhari made this promise and he's keeping the promise.
Plus, need for forgiveness emphasized for national development. Hello and welcome to the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We are reaching you live from in Abuja. I am Nolin Ebel Ame. Now to the news. President Muhammadu Buhari has made a strong case for African leaders to work rigorously towards ensuring a more productive, self-sufficient and purpose-driven organization that will fully serve the interests of their people. Contributing to the debate on the reform of the African Union, the President maintains that global realities demand that the Union must be overhauled to remain relevant in intergovernmental processes. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
The debate held behind closed doors followed the submission of a comprehensive report on the institutional reform of the African Union by President Paul Kagame of Rwanda. President Muhammadu Buhari told the African leaders that Nigeria demands a truly reformed, efficient and effective African Union Commission that is fully committed to the discharge of its duties and responsibilities. He assured them of his country's full support and abiding commitment towards ensuring that the reform process is successful. Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Onyama attended the closed-door session.
Mr. President is a great believer in good governance, in transparent governance, and also in impactful governance. Nigeria is one of the big contributors to the AU, and you want to see the benefits of what you're paying for, you see, and also the vision that we have for, for Africa. As I said, the Africa we want. We have a 2063 agenda, a roadmap, and it aligns and tallies very much with Mr. President's general vision, peace and security, good governance. He's been champion of the anti-corruption program of the African Union. So he also wants to see, that institutionalized.
President Buhari calls for collaboration and greater coherence amongst all stakeholders towards the attainment of Agenda 2063. Meanwhile, Nigeria's candidate, Ambassador Bankole Adewoye, has been elected as the new Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security of the African Union Commission. Ambassador Adewoye was overwhelmingly supported by all the 55 member countries of the African Union.
You realize, of course, that we need somebody that would galvanize and mobilize whatever resources, whatever it takes to assist us in addressing these matters of peace or lack of it and insecurity. So we need all the peace that we can get, we need all the security to enable us to address other issues of development. We have in our candidate somebody who has had the rare privilege of serving as chairperson of the African Union Committee on Peace and Security 3 times. And he is simply about the best that you can get today in Africa.
During the election, Musa Fahaki Mahamat was returned unopposed as the chairperson of the African Union Commission. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
U.S. President Joe Biden says his administration is committed to building partnerships with other countries around the world and re-engaging with international institutions like the African Union. The U.S. president said this in his message to the 34th African Union Summit. He said the United States stands ready to be a partner in solidarity, support, and mutual respect as it believes in the nations of Africa in the continent-wide spirit of entrepreneurship and innovation.
Growing trade and investment that advances prosperity for all our nations. A future that advances lives of peace and security for all our citizens. A future committed to investing in our democratic institutions and promoting the human rights of all people, women and girls, LGBTQ individuals, people with disabilities, and people of every ethnic background, religion, and heritage. To reach this future, we also must confront the serious challenges we face. That includes investing more in global health, defeating COVID-19 and working to prevent, detect, and respond to future health crises, and partnering with the African CDC and other institutions to advance health security. Raising our climate ambitions and ensuring developing nations can mitigate and adapt to climate impacts that are already causing pain. And engaging in sustained diplomacy in connection with the African Union to address conflicts that are costing lives all across the African continent. None of this is going to be easy, but the United States stands ready now to be your partner in solidarity, support, and mutual respect. We believe in the nations of Africa, in the continent-wide spirit of entrepreneurship and innovation. And through the challenges ahead, although they're great, there is no doubt that our nations, our people, the African Union, were up to this task.
And back home, President Muhammadu Buhari welcomes pronouncement of the Office of the United States Trade Representative signifying withdrawal of the country's objection to the emergence of Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala as Director General of World Trade Organization, WTO. The president welcomes the decision of the new U.S. administration to remove the last obstacle in the path of Dr. Okonjo-Iweala to becoming the first female and the first person of African descent to lead the organization as president. President Muhammadu Buhari, in a statement, said, Nigeria and the entire African continent are happy about this new U.S. position, which signifies a shift and an important turnaround in the relations between our continent and the United States under the Biden administration. The president appreciates the United States' stand with Nigeria and Africa with the acceptance of widely respected citizen Okonjo-Iweala to lead the WTO. Looking forward to working very closely with the new U.S. administration on this and all issues of common interest, especially in such areas as accelerated economic growth, fight against terrorism, and deepening progress on developmental issues. The confirmation of the new service chiefs, consideration of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill and the Petroleum Industry Bill will be among the immediate preoccupation of the National Assembly when it reconvenes on Tuesday, 9th of February. President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, stated this during an interaction with the State House and Senate correspondents. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nko reports.
Plenary in both chambers of the National Assembly on Monday, 21st December 2020 was the last for the year, and the passage of the 2021 appropriation bill was the reason for the special sessions. 6 weeks after, the legislators are expected back to the chambers. Confirmation of the newly appointed service chiefs and some bills have been scheduled for immediate consideration. This includes the Constitution Amendment, Electoral Act Amendment, and the Petroleum Industry Bills.
To pass the various provisions or bills for the alteration of the various provisions of the Constitution.
The PIB is that the Petroleum Industry Bill. We are committed to passing it this year. We are going to find a mixture of obeying non-pharmaceutical control of the virus, social distance, the use of masks, caution, all of this will implement by 100%.
The Petroleum Industry Bill, conceived during the Olusegun Obasanjo administration in 2000, which has the potential to reform Nigeria's oil and gas sector, open up the industry, attract investors, and give adequate attention to host communities, has struggled to see the light of the day for more than a decade. Its courtship with the 6th Assembly did not go beyond second reading. The 7th Assembly passed it late into the Goodluck Jonathan administration and was not assented to, while the 8th Assembly broke the bill into 4 versions and passed the governance version, but did not receive presidential assent as well due to some critical observations made by the executive.
I'm very, very optimistic this will pass this time around. That's the advantage of collaborating with the executive with mutual respect. You can do a lot more for citizens.
The corrections having been effected, the 9th Assembly is poised against all odds to break the jinx and pass the bill into law, as it has passed second reading at the moment and has also been subjected to public hearing.
We will pass the PIB, but we will ensure that businesses here get a very competitive environment, that they are able to make profits and stay and even invest more.
There is the need to quickly pass the PIB within the window of 30 years that we have before the world goes away from hydrocarbons to renewables.
The enactment of the Petroleum Industry Bill into law is long overdue. It has seen Nigeria incur losses from regulatory uncertainties in the sector, with some individuals and companies taking advantage of the legal loopholes. Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Finding a common front against Nigeria's enemies across ethnic and religious lines should be the goal of all Nigerians for the country to tackle its security, economic and social challenges. This was the submission of Governor David Umahi of Ebonyi State during his official visit to Jigawa State for the inauguration of Township Roads Project at Babura local government, the country home of Governor Muhammad Badaru Abubakar. Muhammad Musa Askira reports.
We preach peace, we preach love, we preach unity, we preach one Nigeria. Nothing can divide us as long as this nation is concerned.
Governor David Umahi says the unity of Nigeria is not negotiable, hence political leaders must stand united to address the perceived unhealthy inter-ethnic conflict caused by shared sentiments and stereotyping of one group of citizens against the other. He described his coming to Jigawa State as a positive move to reinvigorate the long-standing cordial relationship between the southeast and the northern region. The southeastern governor observed that challenges of insecurity fueled by those who do not mean well for the country has further divided the Nigerian citizens along ethnic, religious and regional sentiments, derailing the nation from the path of progress.
All over every part of Nigeria, you have good people, you have bad people. But criminality will never be ascribed to any particular tribe or religion. So we assure you that those of your people that are living with us, we are making every effort to safeguard them.
He is the leader in the southeast that comes out to say we are not in support of those people trying to create war in this land, that are trying to molest Fulani, that are trying to molest Hausas in there. And he said, we as leaders of the southeast, we are not in support of these people, and we will fight those people that are fighting our people from the north.
Governor David Umahi's inauguration of the 12.4 kilometers of Babura Township roads with drainages and streetlights is fourth in the series of similar exercise carried out by 3 other governors in less than 5 months. Leaders of Igbo community in Jigawa State also witnessed the events, emphasizing the need for stronger unity among Nigerians to aid national development. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We take a break now. The news will continue shortly.
For now, the best and most efficient way to avoid getting infected is through regular hygienic and sanitary practices, as well as social distancing. As individuals, we remain the greatest weapon to fight this pandemic. By washing our hands regularly, with clean water and soap, disinfecting frequently used surfaces and areas, coughing into a tissue or elbow, and strictly adhering to infection prevention control measures in health facilities, we can contain this virus.
Thank you for staying with us on the news at 10 on NTA News 24. The ongoing construction of a second bridge across the River Niger is set to be a promise made and kept by the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration to the people of the Southeast region. Joy Elugbo reports that leadership of the All Progressives Congress APC in the Southeast and Ohaneze, who visited the site in Anambra State, said the project will not only benefit people of the region, but the country in general.
The federal government's determination to complete the second Niger bridge within specified period, the bridge, which is at 54% completion, is already taking shape with the incremental launch of the bridge deck with the Asaba bound already completed. Selected leaders of the APC Southeast and Ohaneze leadership, led by the Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma and President General Ohaneze Ndibo George Obiozo, were at the site to ascertain the level of work on the monumental project.
And those who are saying the federal government has not remembered Southeast, I want anybody to point at anywhere in Nigeria that is one project that is its cost is 366 billion naira. And I believe the only way really to trust your government is that when your government makes a promise, it keeps it. And we are very happy that President Muhammadu Buhari made this promise, and he's keeping the promise.
I am extremely impressed with what we have seen.
I want to thank Mr. President for taking it as a responsibility that this project continue to move and move the way it is moving.
The bridge, with a contract sum of 206 billion naira, is a major signature project of the APC government in the Southeast region, said to have indirectly provided employment for the surrounding communities, engaging over 20,000 people. Countdown to the 2022 completion date for the second Niger bridge has already begun, as the people wait eagerly when the bridge will be opened for use. From Onitsha, Joy Ilwebu, NTA News.
A total of 3.8-kilometer erosion control and road improvement works have been completed and inaugurated in Enugu State by the Ecological Fund Office, Abuja. Chimaroke Ugu reports that the project spans through Enugu Eke Ugu, Amanko Oma Eke in Udi local government area of the state.
Erosion control and road improvement works along 3.8-kilometer Enugu-Eke-Ogui project is approved by President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration in 2018. The Permanent Secretary, Ecological Fund Office, Dr. Habiba Lawal, represented by one of the directors, said the project was initiated through a request for an urgent intervention forwarded to the Ecological Fund Office by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyama, in order to arrest the continuous erosion, flood, and other ecological challenges in the communities.
Is expected to achieve the dual purpose of enabling the host community. The resources which the federal government has committed to this project must not be allowed to waste.
While explaining the scope of the project, the consultant Kayode Iboro stated that the project was executed with quality equipment and promised it to stand the test of time. The member Federal House of Representatives Committee on Ecology, Linda Chuba Ibazu, maintained that the completion of the project underscores the federal government's unwavering determination and sincerity of purpose in tackling problems facing the citizenry and making life more meaningful for the people.
It is also my sincere belief that the living standards in these communities and environments will be greatly improved. At this point, let me highlight the present administration's resolve to continue with the implementation of all genuine government policies.
We thank the federal government, as I've said, for this project. We also advise the benefiting community and the benefiting users of this road to be mindful of the fact that things have really gone up in this country.
Highlights of the event was the presentation of handing over certificate to the benefiting local government area in Enugu. Chimaroke, Ugu, NTA News.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has announced a trading surplus of 13.43 billion for the month of November 2020. This is up by 54% when compared to the 8.71 billion surplus recorded in October 2020. This is contained in the November 2020 edition of the NNPC Monthly Financial and Operations Report, M4. A statement by the Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division of the Corporation, Dr. Kenny Obateru, says the trading surplus or trading deficit is derived after deduction of the expenditure profile from the revenue in the period under review. The report indicates that in November 2020, NNPC Group's operating revenue as compared to October 2020 decreased slightly by 0.02% or 0.09 billion naira to stand at 423.08 billion. Similarly, expenditure for the month decreased by 1.16% or 4.81 billion naira to stand at 409.65 billion naira, leading to the 13.43 billion naira trading surplus. Overall expenditure as a proportion of revenue was 0.97 in November 2020. The 54% increase in trading surplus in November 2020 M4 is primarily ascribed to the substantial decrease in expenditure from the Nigeria Gas Company NGC due to cost reduction in overheads, coupled with 38% reduction in NNPC corporate headquarters deficit. In addition, the NNPC Group's surplus was bolstered by the noticeable improved profits for additional engineering services rendered by the Nigerian Engineering and Technical Company NETCO and increased revenue from import activities posted by Duke Oil Incorporated. These healthy performances, according to the statement, dominated all other NNPC subsidiaries to record the group surplus. The report also indicated that export sales of crude oil and gas for the month stood at $108.84 million, making a 70.33% increase compared to the previous month. Latest figures by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) confirms 1,588 new cases of COVID-19 in the country. A breakdown shows that Lagos has 535, which is the highest number, followed by Anambra 218, Oyo 155, the Federal Capital Territory 150, Kano 124, Gombe 60, Kaduna 49, Ebonyi 48, and Plateau 46. Others are Akwa Ibom 39, Niger 37, Edo 33, Katsina 23, Rivers 18, Taraba 15, Nasarawa 14, Ogun 11, Delta 9, 2 each in Ekiti and Jigawa states. The 1,588 new cases bring the total number of confirmed cases to 139,242. Discharged stands at 112,557, and number of deaths 1,647. Away from health to education now, academic activities have commenced at the University of Calabar after the 9-month-old strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU. Achibong Basi in this report takes a look at measures put in place to protect staff and students in line with COVID-19 protocols.
long-awaited February 5th, 2021 scheduled for the resumption of academic activities for the 2019-2020 session is finally here, and students are visibly in good spirits to return to school.
I'm looking forward to the school calendar speeding up our academic pursuit.
Please, they should not close down the school anymore.
One major feature here at the University of Calabar is a strict adherence to the COVID-19 protocols, which is also applicable in the school's transportation system. The Vice-Chancellor, Professor Florence Obi, says she's excited to have the students back on campus while advising students to comply with all the COVID-19 protocols put in place.
We're going to have, as we come into the administrative block, the library, the student accounts, just wherever we're going to have a crowd, where we know we have crowds, we've worked out modalities of putting some of those equipment there.
It's the hope of the students that the session will be uninterrupted. In Calabar, Achibombasi, NTA News.
Thank you, Achibon. In a struggle to put a lid on wild and baseless conspiracy theories on COVID-19 vaccine, the Islamic Forum of Nigeria has organized a symposium on the deadly virus to sensitize the public on the efficacy of the vaccine as well as its safety. Yahanasu Hassan Barau reports that the conference, which was observed under the COVID-19 safety protocols, had in attendance medical experts, Islamic and traditional leaders. We shall bring you this story in our subsequent bulletin. All right, we are taking a break now. We'll come back shortly.
This is NTA News 24 broadcasting from Abuja. You can watch us anywhere, anytime on the following platforms.
Start Times, Channel 101, Free TV, Channel 703, GSTV, Channel 419, and Go TV, Channel 46.
For more information, log on to our website, www.nta.ng, or join us on our social media handles, Twitter at NTA News 24, Facebook at NTA News 24.
For comments, suggestions, and inquiries, send an email to news24@nta.gov.ng or call us on the following numbers.
NTA News 24,
news and more news.
Welcome to Abuja, the place that unites Nigeria.
Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
This is the network service of the NTA.
like a story we have to tell. Life is like a music we have to sing. Life is like that sweet melody from the sea we have to listen to. Life is like a melody we have to sing along. It's African literature on NTA, Africa's largest television network. I am Nena Bassi.